Joining us now is Illinois Congressman Mike Quigley. He sits on the House Intelligence Committee, also the co-chair of the Congressional Ukraine Caucus. Congressman, it's always a pleasure to see you. So the committee wrapped up its public part of its investigation, at least for now. What are the lessons learned from them, you think?
You know, for me, watching, having been in the chambers where this happened, I was thinking of Faulkner of all things. History is now was, it is. And we're once again asked if a popular democratic government can survive. Can a government so conceived long endure? And I say that because we're coming up to an election where there's about 200 people on the ballot who deny that, still believe in the big lie about the election.
So are those lessons then not learned?
Apparently not on a large part of our country. But again, they were fed this lie by the president of the United States and those that would back him up. The fact that he was 0 for 62 in the courts seems to mean nothing. The fact that most of the evidence that we've seen so far coming out of this committee comes from Republicans. It comes from former staffers and people who had previously supported the president of the United States, who just came to realize what the truth was, and the truth has value if we're going to maintain this republic.
Yeah, truth always has value everywhere, right? Nowhere more important than here. Congressman, I want to turn to Ukraine. Vladimir Putin said today, this morning, there was no need for more widespread attacks on Ukraine like the ones this week for now. What do you make of that?
Yeah, it's certainly not accurate. It's Putin not being benevolent. The fact of the matter is, these attacks are very, very expensive. One of these missiles can cost $10 million. They have almost no military value. They're not going to make the Ukrainians cow down. This has never happened in history from the Blitz on, where this kind of civilian bombing changes a public's view. In fact, it galvanizes it, as it has with our NATO allies. So I think you're going to see even more support with surface-to-air systems coming from this. So he really had no choice. This is indeed more evidence of a desperate Putin, followed by sham elections, a bungled mobilization, the nuclear threats. It's evidence that he's far more concerned with his far-right ultranationalists than he is with the public's response to this war.
And Congressman, I mean, Russia is using those multi-million-dollar missiles, but also Iranian-provided drones to help carry out its new spate of attacks on Ukraine. As Iran deals with protests from women demanding change after a young woman died after being arrested by the country's morality police, do you think Congress or others should take steps specifically targeting what is going on in Iran?
Absolutely. And when we get back after the election, it should be one of the first things we do. What else can we do to punish the Iranian government for what they're doing? For the sake of those who seek freedom in their own country, but for the fact that they're acting wholly irresponsibly to help Russia in this war. I think the other thing we have to make sure that we do is, and we're sending 2 of our more sophisticated systems, surface-to-air systems, but with a commitment to 6 more. I think we need to look at this in the manner that we protect Israel. We need to help, and NATO needs to help us do it, provide something of an iron dome over that. So I think we need to punish Iran. We need to give Ukraine the systems it needs to protect itself against all these attacks, including those that are specifically help them with these drone attacks.
Congressman Mike Quigley, I thank you so much for being with us this morning. Appreciate your time.